this life that I manifested, really, it's not because I was chasing money, saying, I want to make this much money. I want to make this much money. It's good to have goals. Goals are great. But it was really like, what do I actually want out of life? Hello, and welcome to the Master the Media podcast. I'm your host, Amy Gorin, and today's topic is stop chasing money and start living before it's too late. So, sounds a little ominous, right? But I just actually, I'm coming from filming a podcast episode with my business coach where we just talked about all of the kind of life lessons and making money, right? And I know it's might sound a little, I don't know, counterintuitive that okay, I talk a lot about money and master the media, right? Like our one of our taglines is make $50,000 in the next 6 months from brand partnerships. By the year 2030, make $500,000 in brand partnerships. We talk a lot about money, but it's not that we're chasing money. What we're chasing is the life that we want. The time with our for ourselves and our self-care, the time for to spend with our family, the time to spend doing the things we enjoy, going on vacations and not working 24/7. So, you know, what I've been thinking a lot about recently is I never chose a career path based on money. And so my first career path was going to be I was going to be an artist. So I went to college, have an art degree, realized like 8/10 of the way through that it's not the best career choice. It seems a little bit too like I'd be alone all the time and not around enough people. Then I decided to be a journalist, which I was for almost a decade. Never made that much money though. Like literally, my first job, I was getting paid $14 an hour in New York City, which is a very expensive place to live. But I've always had a very strategic mind, and I figured out how to use that experience to make money, not because I was chasing money, but because I wanted a certain lifestyle. And I, there was one year where I was working in New York City. It was the one year I actually lived in the city, and I lived on probably the quietest street in the whole city on York Avenue. And it was still too loud for me. Like I could still hear someone walking on the street with a grocery cart in the middle of the night. And I still never got away from all of the chaos of New York City. I was living in it 24/7. I was working like 70 hours a week at the time. So I'd go to work. This was way back in the day of publishing where I was an assistant. And one of the biggest parts of my job was to stay at the magazine really late so I could, because we had two offices at the time. We had a New York City prevention office, we had a Pennsylvania prevention office. And my job was to literally take the magazine copy that was about to be printed and scan it with one of the editor's notes to the Pennsylvania office, have them write their notes on it and print that out, deliver it to the person in New York City and go back and forth until like midnight. So I was actually like depleted and depressed. And this was back when like Lost was on DVD and we still had video stores. And like I would spend my weekends I'd go and like rent all of the DVDs and like just spend the whole weekend in bed watching TV. And then I was like, I'm pretty depressed. This life is not the life I wanted. And that's actually the time when I started thinking about like what I wanted to do, because it wasn't what I was currently doing. I love journalism, but it wasn't the lifestyle I wanted. And the next year I actually started the process, or maybe 2 years later, I started the process of going back to school to become a dietitian. But even when I did that career path, I mean, dietitians don't necessarily make a lot of money, right? That's actually what I work with a lot of dietitians within Master the Media who come to me because their day jobs do not compensate them the way that they want to be compensated. And so then I kind of, I don't want to, I kind of like sort of reverse engineered everything. So like part of what I thought about at the time was, what do I actually want? What do I want in life. I want to do something that makes a difference. I want to help people. I want to not work a gazillion hours a week. I want to be able to spend time, doing the self-care things I want to do. I love getting massages, right? I love taking trips. I love getting fancy coffees, and I want to be able to travel. And, I hadn't met my husband quite yet in this timeline, but like down the road, I want to be able to spend time with him and my daughter and my family. And so when I became a dietitian, and it kind of just happened that like patient care was not for me. And so I started thinking, what can I do? And that's when I started working with brands as a spokesperson, and started that in that second year as a dietitian, I earned $262,000 as a media dietitian. And then from there, once Master of the Media got off the ground, and I started coaching other healthcare professionals in how to land these high paying brand partnerships as a healthcare professional, that's when I really got to determine I get to choose how this all works. I get to choose the life that I'm living and how I'm spending my time. And so this life that I manifested, really, it's not because I was chasing money, saying I want to make this much money, I want to make this much money. It's good to have goals. Goals are great, but it was really like, what do I actually want out of life? And so I was thinking about it today, and I'm like, okay, I have a very busy day. I presented to a university this morning. I just recorded a podcast episode. I was the guest. Now I'm recording a podcast episode on my podcast. And then I am doing a discovery call with a potential Master of the Media client. And then I have a masseuse coming to my house for a 90-minute massage. And so that's the part where I'm like, I got to manifest this. We had a whole issue with our well yesterday. We had repairmen in our house all day, got the well fixed, but they had to put chlorine in the water to like reset everything. And so basically I'm like, until the chlorine works its way out of the well, I don't want to wash my hair in chlorinated water. So tomorrow I'm going to get my hair blown out at a salon. And I really need a vacation. So I was, yesterday my husband and I were like, maybe we should take the baby on a cruise. Maybe we should take the nanny with us to take care of the baby on the cruise. And these are the things that matter. These are the moments that matter. I get to keep my daughter home with me all day, every day. We have a nanny many of those days, but I don't have to miss those moments, those little moments all day long. I can go and, see her roll over for the first time. I can go and see her try to start crawling. And those are the moments that are really important. And so when I say stop chasing the money and start living, it's once you start focusing on the life part of lifing, the money, I don't want to say it'll kind of just happen, but it's more likely to have the outcome that you want. So like I'm not saying I don't have monetary goals. Like as a business owner, my goal this year, I'll be totally straightforward. My goal is to earn $2 million as a business owner. So I'm putting that out there. The reason that I want to earn that amount of money though, isn't so I can be like, cool, I have $2 million. It's so that I can use that money to pay for the best of the best childcare for my child. I can use that money to start a college fund for her. I can use that money to reinvest it back into my business. I just signed a 2-year partnership with the American College of Lifestyle Medicine, where Master of the Media is sponsoring them for the next 2 years. So we get to do something really amazing in that sponsorship. And we also get to to connect with these amazing practitioners who are the ideal audience for Master of the Media. I'm able to use that money to hire the best of the best talent for Master of the Media. Like we have an Emmy award-winning broadcast coach. We have the former editor-in-chief for All Recipes magazine on our instructor list. And so really, I want you guys to just like close your eyes. Well, not if you're driving right now, but if you're somewhere where you can close your eyes and just imagine, like, what do you want out of life? My business coach always had me picture, we called her $1 Million Amy. So Picture the $1 million version of yourself, not because you're chasing the money, but because you're chasing the lifestyle that comes with that level of monetary success. There's a difference. And picture what is she doing right now? Where is she? So like right now, if I close my eyes, the $2 million version of myself is in this really incredible house. My daughter's growing up. We're just like hanging out, playing in the kitchen. I'm not worrying about work at this moment. We're just enjoying life. And I want you to picture what that looks like for you, what that looks like for your family, what that looks like for the future version of yourself and your family. And once you, I know this all sounds a little like maybe woo, but like once you envision that version of yourself, the money part will come. I'm not saying it's going to come without you doing any work, but you will feel the empowerment to pursue the right paths, to invest in the right coaching for yourself that makes sense. This is how I started to work with my business coach way back in the day. I met her and I was like, you know what? You have the exact right energy to help me overcome any mindset obstacles that I have right now. That's a lot of what we do in Master the Media too. Is I do a lot of, obviously we help people, we help health professionals land paid brand partnerships, but a lot of what I do day to day is mindset coaching of how can we get out of our own heads, out of our own paths to reach the potential, the amazing potential we have as service providers, because we're all here to make a difference in the world, to give back to the world, to help millions of people. And the way that you can help millions of people on a big scale is by thinking about what is that life that you want to have? What is that life that you want your clients or patients to have? And that's what I want you to envision yourself for. So whatever the next step is for you, whether it's hiring that coach that you always wanted to work for, whether it's joining Master the Media because you've wanted to for so long, whether it's even taking a break and taking that vacation you've really wanted to take and getting in the right headspace to reach your goals when you come back. I want you to put that on your very short list of what you're going to do really soon, really next. And I'm going to leave you with that for today. And if you want to hear more about what Master the Media, what we do at Master the Media, I want you to go to masterthemedia.co/replay, and you'll be able to listen to our most recent masterclass on how you can use media features to land $50,000 in brand partnerships in the next 6 months and $500,000 by the year 2030.